one is like, there's like two aspects to this problem. Is that there's the actually gross people, and then there's the gross personalities. So like people who don't shower ever and don't use deodorant and like don't like, you know, just like that kind of thing where you're like, you just stare at them and you're like, I'm going to go shower for you. But then there's also like the people with the personalities, like people who like live in houses or like, you know, like stuff like that where they're like, I'm not gonna do my dishes because like I'm tired, or like poop in trash cans, or like, you know, just they're not respectable roommates because they're just gross and you're like, I want to get away from you. I feel like the grossness coming off of you and your personality. So there's like multiple facets to grossness with people.
Men who have long hair and don't take care of it. Women who have long hair and don't take care of it. They look different though. Men with long hair who don't take care of it have greasy hair, and women who have long hair and don't take care of it have like really dry, frizzy hair. It's true. I can see you nodding. People who are rude to customer service workers. White people who look like the devil, so most white people, or white people who look like they're possessed by demons, you know, with like really wide eyes, and you're like, stay away from me. People who don't shower frequently enough. People who don't use deodorant. Smelly people in general. People who are like really emotionally draining to be around, but like don't want to deal with your emotions ever, are also disgusting. They're gross.
What kinds of people disgust you?
So I worked in a grocery store for several years as a cashier, and I think the people that disgust me most are people who pull their method of payment, particularly cash, out of somewhere on their person that is not their wallets or purse. Like, I don't know, for example, like their sock or their like their boob, like their bra, that's what it is, the boob pocket, you know. Or you know, like if you're a biker and you've been sweating a lot and you pull money out of your sweaty butt pocket, like, I'm gonna have to touch that, no thank you. Also, old men in grocery stores who comment on young people's hair and or just, you know, old men in grocery stores are generally bad territory. Men in bars, just kind of as a blanket rule, especially ones who either like pretend to be something they're not, like, I don't know, Canadian as like a ploy to like pick up girls, who like get offended when you tell them they look 40, even though they do because of that hat they're wearing. Or who get, you know, just get angry when you're like not convinced that they're German, and so you don't want to like continue talking to them. Just men in bars really are kind of generally the worst and very disgusting to me.
Anyone who catcalls and doesn't see a problem with it. And then there's other categories like people who don't bathe often enough because they just, I don't know. If you don't like deodorant, I get it. It's a thing. But like more than once a week, maybe bathing, that might be a thing.
Okay, so I am in a sorority, and one of our sisters vomited all over the floor, and we thought that she had food poisoning. I heard about it because someone was coming upstairs to where I lived and was like, yeah, I'm not going downstairs, there's vomit everywhere. And I was like, what? But I get downstairs and security had just unlocked the closet to maintenance and pulled out the mop in the bucket and then left. And so I realized that I was going to have to mop up all this vomit. So me and one of my other sisters, Nora, we just got to work trying to mop it. Nora had her bandana pulled over her nose and her mouth because she vomits at the sight of vomit, but she and I were the ones who were elected, apparently, to be cleaning up all of this barf, and, yeah, it was really bad because every time we would wring out the mop, we would just get vomit in our clean water, so we couldn't really figure out how to do this, and so we wound up just dumping the bad water well, first we tried to dump it down the laundry tub, but then the vomit clogged the drain, so we had to reach in. Well, I reached in because Nora was like not doing well, so I reached in and had to unclog the drain of all of the vomit to get the water to go down, and then like try to rinse out this tub, but it took forever, and it was just so much vomit everywhere, and it was all over one of the couches, and so we were really trying our best to scrub out the couch, but I still don't sit on that couch. Those of us who are in the know about this night call it the vomit couch and kind of wince whenever the new members sit on it, and I felt really bad for being disgusted, because this person who had vomited was clearly just so embarrassed and did not want to witness us mopping up her vomit. Yeah, and clearly just felt really terrible about it. And I got the stomach flu, and it was the worst flu I'd ever had. It's the only time in my life I've ever had to prioritize between vomiting and diarrhea. Like, it was terrible. That's probably the grossest thing I've ever had to deal with in my time at Beloit.
Oof. So, my freshman year, and this story follows a circular story pattern, much like many Greek epics, which I've read. So my freshman year, I'm fairly new to Commons. I don't really know the lay of the land, and they have offered these moon pies that are dyed Beloit colors, so blue and gold. And I think I should have known when my mouth got stained blue by eating the moon pie that something terrible was going to happen, but the next day I was on the Mauer 3rd bathroom, and I realized that I had pooped blue, and at first I was like, well, I'm dying, so that's great. And then I remembered the moon pie, and so I proceeded to poop blue for about 3 days. And that was traumatizing. But then, I pooped pretty normally for the next 3 years until, earlier this semester, I was in Saga, just hanging out, and there were some free cupcakes up for grabs that, once again, should have been worried when my entire mouth was stained blue, my fingers were stained blue, and I again shat blue for 3 days. Which was, a really just a nice, culminating experience for, my time at Beloit. First semester, pooped blue for 3 days. First semester of my senior year, pooped blue for 3 days. It was just really nostalgic. Yeah.
So earlier this semester, I came home from class, and I just started to feel suddenly, really ill, so ill. And I was, laying down in bed, and I was just, feeling nauseous. My stomach was turning. I was feeling sweaty and warm, and, I have a night class. So I was less okay, if I just, lay down, then I'll be fine, and I can go to my night class, and I just need to make it through my night class, and then I can go to bed right afterwards. And then I, adjusted myself, and then I threw up in my mouth a little bit, and so I ran to the bathroom to, spit out my vomit into the toilet. And then I just proceeded to keep vomiting until I was dry heaving. And so I called my friend to come and sit with me on the bathroom floor while I vomited because I didn't think anyone was in the house. And when I'm sick, I don't like being alone. So I'm just dry heaving. My friend comes with this glass of water. Oh my god, I have all of this reading and this response paper due for my Victorian garbage class tomorrow. Then I got this email that my night class was canceled. So I'm alright, I'm safe. I just need to get this reading done and I can go to bed. But I couldn't read. The motion of my eyes moving made me nauseous again. And so my friend was alright, I'll read your reading for you. And it was this reading by this woman named Coffee-Westover. And the whole first 2 pages is basically her describing vomit and the abject and like spitting it out of you. And I'm like, this is not what I need to be hearing right now while I'm starting to build up feeling nauseous again and like I'm going to throw up. But I also need to get this reading done. So it was just this very surreal moment where I just like gone through this experience of like throwing up, and here's this theorist using this very long metaphor of throwing up to describe the abject.
Okay, so tell me a story about a time when something disgusting happened to you at Beloit.
So it was the night of St. Patrick's Day, and we were in my house, and we were all sleeping silently in our beds, you know, enjoying our nicely sleep. And when we woke up in the morning, heck broke loose. As I was going to class, I walked through the annex of the house. So there was puke on the floor, and I was like, oh no, I am out. So then I went out the door, and I came back from classes later, and I went to go use the bathroom because someone was in my bathroom that I share with 2 other people. And I walk in, and there's poop on the floor, and there's blood, and it's just a time. I got an email from my RA saying that there was poop in the trash can. So
Human poop?
human feces. So that was a thing that happened, and I'm kind of scarred from it. The person who did the crime is not admitting to pooping in the trash can, but is admitting to puking on the floor and with the blood on the bathroom, which is weird because I'm like, just own up to it. I mean, you already have these 2 bad things for you. So we have now called him the defecator. He was banned from our house for a little bit, but now he's welcome as long as he doesn't defecate anywhere. But moral of this story is feces have diseases, and people should clean up their garbage and shit. So that was a thing that happened, and I'm kind of scarred from it.